Long ago, during the Pleistocene epoch, stretching from 2.6 million years ago until just 46,000 years before our time, the Australian continent was home to a breathtaking cast of giant animals known as the megafauna. And among them stood the most massive marsupial that ever lived, the Diprotodon, a gentle giant that has fascinated scientists, storytellers, and explorers for generations. Imagine a creature as long as a car and taller than a man, weighing nearly 2.5 tons, with a body that resembled an enormous wombat, thick legs like living tree trunks, and a huge head that swung low to the ground as it grazed, its jaws grinding ceaselessly through the tough vegetation of an ancient land. Diprotodon was a herbivore, but not a picky one. It fed on leaves, bark, grasses, and shrubs, and its continuously growing molars were nature's answer to the endless chewing of fibrous, abrasive plants. Fossilized trackways and bone sites suggest that these giants did not live alone. They likely traveled in herds, perhaps led by older, wiser individuals, moving across wide grasslands and open forests in search of waterholes and fresh food. In their time, Australia looked very different. Giant kangaroos bounded across plains, marsupial lions lurked as predators, enormous goannas and snakes slid through the underbrush, and thunderous herds of Diprotodon reshaped the land with their very presence, trampling paths and clearing swaths of vegetation wherever they went. They were the engineers of their world, just as elephants are today in Africa, influencing which plants thrived and how ecosystems functioned. Fossils of Diprotodon, discovered in caves, dry lakes, and riverbanks across Queensland, New South Wales, South Australia, and Victoria, reveal not only the skeleton of a giant, but also stories of its life. Some sites preserve entire groups, suggesting that droughts or sudden floods may have wiped out entire herds, leaving their bones as time capsules of ancient tragedy. In some places, the remains are so well preserved that we can even imagine the texture of their fur, their shaggy coats protecting them from cold nights of the Ice Age and from the scorching sun of the day. For tens of thousands of years, Diprotodon lived alongside the first Aboriginal Australians, and many researchers believe that oral traditions and rock art may echo memories of these creatures, describing giant wombat-like beings that wandered the land. This overlap with humans is critical, for around 65,000 years ago, people arrived on the continent, and within a few thousand years, Diprotodon and many other giants were gone. The reasons remain one of prehistory's great mysteries. Was it climate? Was it human hunting? Or was it a deadly combination of both? As the Ice Age tightened its grip, Australia became drier. Rivers shrank and vegetation grew sparse. But at the same time, humans spread across the land, lighting fires, changing habitats, and perhaps hunting Diprotodon for food, for hides, and even for bone tools. Some scientists imagine hunting parties tracking a herd, singling out the slowest and weakest individuals, perhaps surrounding them with fire or spears, an encounter between humanity and megafauna that would end not in balance, but in extinction. By about 46,000 years ago, the Diprotodon vanished forever, leaving behind only fossils and faint cultural memories, marking the end of the age of giant marsupials. To picture Diprotodon in life is to picture a herd of colossal, hairy, wombat-like animals trudging across dry plains in clouds of dust, stopping to strip shrubs bare, drinking from muddy waterholes under a blazing sun, and lumbering onward as predators watched from the shadows. It was not a fierce animal, not a killer, but a survivor, adapted to a harsh and changing world until pressures grew too great. Today, only its smaller cousins remain, the wombats that burrow in the earth and the koalas that cling to eucalyptus trees, survivors of a lineage that once produced a true titan. The story of Diprotodon is more than just the tale of an extinct giant. It is a warning about fragility, about how even the largest creatures can fall when environments shift too quickly or when new pressures arrive. In its bones, scattered across the Australian outback, lies a record of resilience and loss, a reminder that our world is not fixed, that giants can disappear, and that what we see today is but a fraction of life's true history. As scientists study Diprotodon, using DNA, fossil evidence, and aboriginal knowledge, they piece together not just the image of an animal, but of an entire world that was swept away, a world of thunderous herds, fierce predators, and endless change. To tell the story of Diprotodon is to tell the story of Australia's ice age, of survival, of extinction, and of the deep connection between people, climate, and animals. Though gone, Diprotodon still lives on in science, in culture, and in imagination.